All eyes are on Iran. Newsrooms, embassies, and intelligence agencies are watching every signal from Tehran. It is a moment of global suspense, as the country stands on the edge of change. Iran's next move could shake the Middle East and the world. For decades, Iran's leadership has shaped regional conflicts, energy markets, and international diplomacy. Now, as rumors swirl about a coming succession, the world wonders, who will hold Iran's most powerful position next? The stakes are high. Decisions made in Tehran ripple across continents. The coming months may see a shift that affects millions. Whether you follow global news or just care about gas prices, Iran's future is your future too. The world is watching, waiting, and preparing for what comes next. In Iran, no office is more powerful than that of the Supreme Leader. This singular position stands above all others, shaping the destiny of the nation and influencing the daily lives of millions. The Supreme Leader is not just a political figure, but a symbol of authority, tradition, and continuity in a country defined by its complex history and turbulent politics. This position commands the armed forces, oversees the judiciary, and sets the tone for Iran's foreign relations. The Supreme Leader's reach extends into every corner of government, from the military barracks to the highest courts, and even into the secretive world of international diplomacy. No major policy is enacted without his approval, and his influence is felt in every decision, big or small. The office is the backbone of the Islamic Republic, shaping every major decision since the revolution of 1979. It was born out of upheaval, when the monarchy was swept away, and a new era began under the guidance of religious leaders. Since then, the Supreme Leader has been the ultimate authority, guiding Iran through decades of change, conflict, and transformation. Ali Khamenei has held this role for over 35 years, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in the world. He has outlasted multiple United States presidents, endured wars with neighboring countries, and steered Iran through waves of international sanctions and economic hardship. His leadership has been a constant presence, providing stability in times of uncertainty. Khamenei's rule has been marked by a strict adherence to revolutionary ideology and a persistent resistance to Western influence. Yet beneath this hardline stance, he has also shown himself to be a shrewd and pragmatic strategist, occasionally opening small doors to diplomacy when it served Iran's interests. His ability to balance ideology with realpolitik has defined his tenure. Khamenei's leadership is deeply personal and nearly absolute. He holds the final say on all matters of state, military, religious, and political. His decisions are often made behind closed doors, but their impact is felt throughout the country, shaping the lives of ordinary Iranians and the direction of the nation. The consequences of his choices ripple far beyond Iran's borders. His policies have influenced regional conflicts, inspired allies and alarmed rivals. As age and illness begin to take their toll, the world watches closely, aware that the end of his era could bring significant change not just to Iran, but to the entire Middle East and beyond. The question of who will succeed him is more than a local issue. It is a pivotal moment for Iran, the Middle East, and the world at large. The next Supreme Leader will inherit immense power and face enormous challenges, and their decisions will shape the future of a nation and its place on the global stage. Succession in Iran is not simple. The Supreme Leader is chosen by a small group of elite clerics, the Assembly of Experts. Yet, real power often lies with those who control the military and security forces. The world is watching to see who will rise. There is no clear favorite. Some believe a religious scholar will take the helm. Others point to military figures or Khamenei's own inner circle. The process is secretive, with deals made behind closed doors. Foreign intelligence agencies scramble to read every hint. Whoever takes power will face enormous challenges. Iran's economy struggles under sanctions. Regional rivals circle. The people are restless, demanding jobs and freedoms. A new Supreme Leader must balance these pressures and set a new direction. The outcome will not just decide Iran's path. It could spark unrest, shift alliances, and change the world's approach to the region. One name whispers through Tehran's corridors: Mojtaba Khamenei. He is the Supreme Leader's son, mysterious, rarely seen, and wielding quiet influence. Unlike his father, Mojtaba keeps a low profile. He shuns public speeches, preferring to work behind the scenes. His network stretches deep into Iran's security forces and religious elite. Many believe he helped shape key decisions, especially in recent years as his father's health declined. Some call him Iran's shadow leader, guiding policy without official title. Mojtaba's rise is controversial. Iran's system rejects dynasties, yet his supporters say he is well prepared. Critics argue he lacks religious credentials and public support. Still, his connections, especially to the powerful IRGC, make him a leading contender. If Mojtaba becomes Supreme Leader, he could bring both stability and secrecy. His leadership style would be shaped by his years in the shadows, but also by the powerful friends he keeps. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, is not just a military force, it is a political and economic powerhouse. Founded after the 1979 revolution, the IRGC was meant to protect the Islamic system. Today, it controls key industries, from oil to construction. The IRGC's influence is everywhere. Its leaders take part in politics, shape foreign policy, and even run businesses. They answer only to the Supreme Leader, not to Parliament or President. This makes the IRGC a kingmaker in Iran's political life. Many believe the next Supreme Leader will need IRGC support to rule. The group is loyal, but not passive. It expects a voice in major decisions, especially on security and the economy. Some worry that the IRGC could gain even more power under new leadership. The IRGC's reach stretches outside Iran too. It supports allies in Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and Yemen. Whoever leads Iran next will need the IRGC on their side. Or, risk chaos. The arrival of a new supreme leader in Iran could, quite honestly, change everything about the country's future, both at home and on the world stage. This isn't just a ceremonial role. The supreme leader holds immense power, shaping the nation's identity, its ambitions, and its relationships with the rest of the world. Every major decision, from how Iran deals with its neighbors to how it responds to global crises, ultimately flows from the top. Iran's foreign policy, military actions, and economic choices are all deeply tied to the man at the top. The Supreme Leader sets the tone for everything, from the country's stance on international negotiations to its willingness to confront or cooperate with other nations. His worldview, priorities, and alliances ripple through every level of government, affecting millions of lives. If the next leader comes from the ranks of the IRGC or is closely connected to this powerful military organization, you can expect a much harder line abroad. The IRGC's influence could mean more assertive policies, a greater focus on military strength, and a willingness to challenge Western interests more openly. This could lead to increased tensions in the region and beyond. Sanctions have crippled Iran's economy, that's for sure. Everyday Iranians feel the impact: rising prices, job losses, and a sense of uncertainty about the future. The economic pressure is immense, and it shapes public opinion as well as government policy. Some potential leaders might seek relief through diplomacy, hoping for a bit of a break from the relentless economic strain. They could try to negotiate with Western powers, aiming to lift sanctions and open up new opportunities for trade and investment. This approach would require a willingness to compromise and engage with the international community. Others, however, could double down on resistance, building even stronger alliances with countries like Russia, China, or even North Korea. These partnerships might offer some economic and military support, but they could also deepen Iran's isolation from the West and lock the country into a more confrontational stance. Iran's nuclear program, long a source of tension and suspicion, could become even more secretive or aggressive, depending on who's in charge. A hardline leader might accelerate nuclear development, risking further conflict with the international community. On the other hand, a more pragmatic leader could seek new agreements to ease tensions, but that would require trust and transparency. The IRGC already supports militias and proxy groups across the Middle East, projecting Iranian influence far beyond its borders. A more aggressive stance from the top could spark new conflicts, threaten vital shipping routes like the Strait of Hormuz, or destabilize neighboring countries. These moves would have global consequences, affecting energy markets and international security. The world's security, in a big way, depends on the choices made in Iran's leader's office. Every decision reverberates through international institutions, shapes headlines, and influences how other countries respond to Iran, whether with dialogue, sanctions, or military posturing. But a new leader could also open doors. There's always the possibility for change, for a shift toward reform, and for a new chapter in Iran's relationship with the world. The hope for progress and greater freedoms is alive among many Iranians. Some in Iran are hoping for change, more engagement with the West, and less isolation. They dream of a future where Iran is more connected, where opportunities expand, and where the country's youth can look outward with optimism rather than fear. In the end, the Supreme Leader's direction will decide which path the country takes, toward confrontation or cooperation, isolation or integration. The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher for Iran's future and for global stability. Iran sits at a critical crossroads, both geographically and economically. Its unique position has shaped its history, its politics, and its influence on the world stage for centuries. The country is not just a bridge between East and West, but also a gateway connecting the Middle East to Central Asia and beyond. Beneath its soil lies a treasure trove of oil and natural gas. These vast reserves fuel not only Iran's own economy, but also play a pivotal role in the global energy market. Every barrel pumped from Iranian fields is a reminder of the country's enduring significance in the world's energy supply chain. But, honestly, geography is Iran's real trump card. Its rugged mountains, expansive deserts, and strategic location have made it both a fortress and a crossroads throughout history. This geography has protected Iran from invasions, but also given it leverage over its neighbors and the world. Perhaps most importantly, Iran borders the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow, vital waterway where about 1/5 of the world's oil passes every single day. This strait is only about 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, making it a true choke point for global energy flows. Any threat to the strait sends shockwaves through energy markets worldwide. Investors, governments, and businesses all keep a close eye on what happens here, because even a hint of instability can cause oil prices to spike and ripple through economies everywhere. Iran has used this leverage before, threatening to close or disrupt the waterway during times of crisis. These threats are not just political posturing, they have real consequences for shipping, insurance costs, and the global flow of energy. Ships from all over the world, carrying oil, gas, and goods, rely on this route for safe passage. The strait is a lifeline for many nations, especially those that depend on imported energy. Control over this choke point gives Iran both power and responsibility. The world watches closely as Iran manages this strategic artery, knowing that any disruption could have far-reaching effects. The Supreme Leader's stance, whether calm or confrontational, really affects global oil prices and energy security. Decisions made in Tehran can send ripples across continents, influencing everything from fuel costs to international diplomacy. Even rumors of trouble can make fuel more expensive everywhere. Ordinary people feel the impact at the pump, while businesses face higher costs and uncertainty. And, as the world shifts toward cleaner energy, Iran's oil still matters a lot. The transition to renewables is underway, but oil remains a backbone of the global economy, and Iran's reserves are among the largest on the planet. The next leader's choices will shape the future for drivers, businesses, and economies all around the world. Their decisions could determine whether Iran remains a key player in global energy, or if it finds a new role in a changing world. Inside Iran, politics really is a tug-of-war. Reformers push for more openness, better ties with the world, and greater freedoms for citizens. Hardliners, often backed by the IRGC, demand strict control and isolation from Western influence. This battle shapes Iran every single day. Elections, while they offer some change, don't shift the real power, which lies with the Supreme Leader and his close allies. Protest movements like those we've seen in recent years show that many Iranians want a different future. Still, change comes slowly, and it often comes at great risk. Whoever becomes the next Supreme Leader will need to manage these tensions. Will he open up, allowing reform, or will he crack down on dissent, fearing instability? The answer will affect not just Iran's people, but its place in the world. Iran's future is not only shaped by its leaders, but also by its people. Their voices, though often suppressed, could shape the next chapter. So, why does this distant political drama matter to everyone, from Tokyo to Toronto? The answer is pretty simple. What happens in Iran touches the world. Leadership changes can send energy prices soaring or falling. They can spark new conflicts, disrupt trade, or open fresh paths for peace. A new Supreme Leader might build bridges, easing sanctions and boosting global security. Or he could raise tensions, risking war and higher costs for oil and gas. Ordinary people, far from Tehran, feel the impact when a tanker is threatened or a diplomat is expelled. History shows that leadership transitions in closed systems are unpredictable. Surprises are honestly pretty common. The world must stay alert, ready for any turn. As Iran stands at a crossroads, the choices made in its highest office will shape lives all around the world. Whether at the gas pump, in the news, or in world markets, Iran's next move is everybody's business.